Welcome. Blessings, brothers and sisters on earth. It's Lori and Spagna here with you today to chat briefly about the eclipse season we are moving into, which is really opening right now. Briefly about the eclipse season and how it's going to affect you and your transformation, as well as the transformation ahead that is up for planet Earth. And more importantly, perhaps, or really how we're going to navigate this time. And also how it's related to our DNA and dormant DNA activations. Because, of course, all of our transformation and our soul's divine agenda is coded into the DNA as well. So with that, let's get started. And I'm going to try and do this in 20 minutes or less. As you guys know me, if you know me well, I am quite elaborate with my teaching to make sure that the information is communicated clearly and effectively. And it's some of the stuff that people love me for because I really help explain things in a way that makes sense to them. So hopefully you will find that to be true too for you here now. So what we have now coming up, what we are emerging into now is the October eclipse cycle, the season. On October 14th, we have an annular, which really means a ring of fire. The sun behind the moon forms a ring of fire around the moon. It looks like that. So an annular partial solar eclipse with a new moon in the house of Libra. That's on October 14th. So the opening of the eclipse season starts typically at least 2 weeks before. So we're in it. And since we're in now officially in the month of Libra, we are already in this beginning. I'm going to explain this some more. The second eclipse of the month is on the days of October 28th, 29th. That is a partial lunar eclipse. And depending on if you're following Western or Vedic astrology, that eclipse will take place in the sign of Aries, or depending on the degrees they look at, right? Taurus from Western Vedic astrology, Western astrology, Aries, Pisces axis from Vedic. Okay, regardless, they really are all saying the same thing, more or less in a slightly different way. So let's not get hung up on the details and let's get the big picture visionary perspective. That's what I offer. The visionary point of view about what the big picture purpose is behind these eclipses and how they affect us in our expansion, our elevation, and our upliftment and our evolution. So first, in the sign of Libra, what we're really talking about is, especially with the new moon in Libra, we're talking about revealing what has been out of balance. We're asking, whenever we're talking about eclipses, this is important. Whenever we're talking about eclipses, what we're really looking at is massive karmic/dharmic movement. Because the eclipses, when it comes to astrology, correlate to the movement of the nodes. What are the nodes? Directionals for the Earth. South and north nodes, which also could be in Vedic astrology translated as Ketu and Rahu. Ketu is the south node, and to me the south node is like a basket with holes in it, what we're meant to let go of and what we're meant to hold on to. So what we're meant to release, what we're meant to give away, what we're meant to catch and capture. Think of it like a basket, that, strainer. The north node, Rahu, which is the second eclipse. So the first eclipse is K2 south node in Libra. By the way, side by side next to Mars, which has to do with action, masculine energy, war, fighting, will, force. So in the house of Leo, during a south node eclipse in Libra, sorry, not Leo, Libra, we're talking about masculine energy being released and or somehow transformed, right? A south node means we're meant to let go of, release, and keep what's valuable, what we're meant to catch, but let go of what is not. Give away and potentially teach. This is karmic. Whenever we're talking about the nodes, we're always talking about karma, dharma. And because this is affecting the planet globally, this will affect us globally and personally. So this is not an astrology reading. This is about you understanding how we're going to be affected. Because when you have a South Node eclipse, K2, in the house of Libra, side by side next to Mars, what we're talking about is the power, because Libra, while it signifies balance, and it's in its highest virtues, it's equanimity, fairness. In its shadow aspects, it is imbalance or extreme control. The attempt, because any Libra in their shadow aspect could be very controlling with regard to how they control their own lives or try to maintain balance or control in their own lives. So the shadow aspect is excessive over attachment to balance or control or even its own stability in an unhealthy way. That's the shadow side in a way. And with Mars in there, we're talking about war fighting masculine energy on the shadow side, willpower on the shadow side, versus Mars on the light side, the divine will, the sacred masculine, the proper use of willpower, the appropriate use of divine will. So this is what's transforming in that first eclipse part of the eclipse, right? Power balance, fairness, equilibrium, negotiation. Another good word is being able to be a fair. It's about fairness, right? So the shadow side versus the light side is what it will be exposed. Of course, it will be revealed to us what we need to transform in this area. What do we need to transform in terms of how we navigate our experience? Are we over-controlling, over-dominating, trying to will everything without allowing divine will, without allowing the divine to will itself through us? So that is one of the major parts of it. Now, let's go just to, there's a word that is just, I have to get quiet to get it, and I don't want to get quiet because I'm speaking to you auditorially, but I'm intending that it's going to come to me. Okay, let's go to the North Node eclipse part, and that comes at the end of the month, the last days of October 28th and 29th, and that is a partial lunar eclipse. And that partial lunar eclipse, of course, is correlated to the North Node, and that North Node is the direction we are taking. That's what the North Node is. Again, North Node is, both of them are karmic, dharmic, but North Node is like dharmic. It's where we're growing, where we're expanding. It will be conjunct or side by side, very close to Jupiter, which is all about expansion. Expansion, that is the word. And it is amazing to me because before I even looked at the astrology, I had already been planning the expansion experience, which if you're not already registered, please do join us. That is a gifted 9-day masterclass called the Expansion Experience. It is so relevant. I am so synced in with the planetary bodies and the direction of humanity that I did this without even knowing. But that is what this North Node eclipse is. And of course, the expansion experience is the week of the eclipse season. So of the second eclipse. And it's all about expansion. And the topic of this 9-day masterclass is the expansion experience. I'm so excited about it. If you don't know about it or haven't heard about it, I'll make sure I put the link in for you so you can join us for this gifted 9-day masterclass experience. It is the expansion experience. And the dates are October 23rd to October 31st. And really, it's all about us making the global transformational change that we are here to make as we come more and more into unification with our source and become more of the best versions of ourselves. And this is exactly what that eclipse is about. It is so amazing. I did not even know that was what the eclipse was about, the second eclipse. But that Rahu North Node, and again, depending on whether you're Vedic or Western astrology, Western will say Taurus, Vedic will say the Aries-Pisces axis. But regardless, it's asking us to become more of who we are meant to be. It's asking for massive transformation. Both of the eclipses are asking to leave the past behind and become something greater, step into something more, align more with our soul's true divine agenda. And ironically, this is exactly what the expansion experience is about, which is why I couldn't wait to talk about this a little bit. So again, join us for the expansion experience, but let me get back to what else I wanted to share. And let me just say a couple more things about that expansion experience if you haven't heard about it already. It is so synced up with the direction of where we are all headed as a collective that we are meant to massively improve the quality of our lives. We are meant to align with something greater for ourselves, including our soul's highest agenda, and become a better version of ourselves. Now, most humans really don't know how to do that on their own. Most humans are still very stuck in their old paradigm, and especially if they're kind of hanging around humans who don't necessarily know how to level themselves up, we get trapped in what I call like in between or at a lower frequency. Yeah, we need to bring ourselves into a bigger, fuller fish tank where we can expand and up level. I've had to do this for myself over the past year. I've witnessed my own transformational change and how I have moved into kind of like what I would call a new fish tank. And I'm expanding and up leveling. And of course, this is the direction now for humanity, as is indicated in these two eclipses, which we are now entering in. So not only do I invite you to the expansion experience to kind of get out of your fish tank and get into a larger ocean-sized group where you can expand and up level, but also where you start recognizing what are the small aspects of you, the parts where you've been playing small and or being stuck in your comfort zone and or being limited, playing small, being limited, allowing yourself to believe or to perceive that the life that you have is the life that you've got, and it's basically as good as it's going to get and nothing will change. Or even if you haven't been quite in that way, you want to look in your life where maybe you've outgrown something or someone or some type of community or crowd, or because Libra is Libra is generally community oriented, although they definitely have a private side because they like the balance. But you need to look at what aspects of yourself, your life, have you outgrown that you're ready to let go of? And what are you ready to release? What either people, places, things, experiences, community, vibration, beliefs, belief systems, etc., have just become too small, too limiting for you. And where have you allowed yourself to sort of be stuck in kind of like a box of some kind? Because that's really what the Libra eclipse is. It's asking you to look at your own areas of confinement, limitation. And of course, that's part of the global experience overall, but this eclipse is going to bring it to light. Where have you been overly willing through willpower alone and not allowing the divine to come in? And the divine is not just, having subtle connection to, let's say, an exterior God, or even a connection to an awareness that you have energy, or even learning that there are things that you can learn through your brain. It really is what we're shifting in, and this is more of that north node, is the embodiment of the magnificence and brilliance of who we are. The divine gifts embodied, right? And I want to say for all of us, we might define that differently, but we are meant to step into and move more fully, wholly and completely into our greatness. So that does require a certain amount of learning, but it also requires a certain amount of energetic change. Eclipses are always asking for big change. So leaving the past behind, which is the first eclipse in Libra, and then making massive transformation and shifting into the future of who we are becoming is our second eclipse. And expanding into not only our connection with the greater good of all, really, this is so much about what the expansion experience is about that I'm offering. It's about recognizing that the greater good of all, with that the greater good of all matters, and that it's no longer acceptable to us to constantly be serving the few at the expense of the many, or to the harm and detriment of the many. And this north node in Rahu is asking us to be more connected to all that is, more connected to one another, more recognizing not only our unique individual brilliance and magnificence, but also the brilliance and the magnificence of everyone. So, and the greatness that life has to offer. You see, life is a gift. It's such a precious gift, and I don't know that we, as a planetary body, as a human species, have been really fully recognizing that, especially in light of some of the events of the past few years and some of the hardships that we have been experiencing and the challenges. And the other thing is, for those of us who are entrepreneurs and who are leading, a business, leading a team of people who do work for us, and leading a community of our tribe, of our community, of our customers, our clients, our students, etc., we are also being asked to step into greater potential, and so that we can bring that forward for our communities, so that we can help better, serve better, contribute better, make a greater difference for humanity. So those of us who are already natural born leaders, and for me, I understand, I can read this in someone's astrology, I can read this in their numbers, and if you have great leadership potential because you have something to offer, right? There's a calling going on here. There is a calling to bring something better forward and to unify that, what you're bringing forward, in a way that serves in a higher, better way. It is not just about the money that you get paid anymore, especially for those of you who are really big achievers, high achievers. And I consider myself to be a high achiever. For those of you who are highly motivated, highly inspired, who wake up feeling inspired and knowing you've got something really amazing to offer and that you are here, you have a calling, and maybe you've achieved great financial reward through that. But you're starting to realize that payoff alone is not enough, because that is not the deep fulfillment, the deeply rewarding satisfaction just to have the financial payoff. That's part of this eclipse, especially North Node in Taurus is going to make you look at it's not about the money. It's about the calling. It's about the service. It's about the contribution. It's about the difference that you can make. It's about how you can help and serve and contribute. So again, that is also what the expansion experience is about. But these are the ways we're going to be asked to be looking in our world, in our reality, and maybe in our personal and professional, in our personal lives. It definitely in both our personal, professional lives and also as a collective. It will expose people who are not divinely aligned. In other words, it will expose people who are not in their integrity. This eclipse will expose people who are not really truly serving the greater good, who don't have service contribution, fairness, equanimity, some form of true heart-centered care. Now, that's generally not our community. This community tends to be more heart-centered. But if you're a visionary or some form of entrepreneur or solopreneur, and you know you're ready to step up in a higher way, this eclipse is going to affect you. And if you're ready to be of service, again, I cannot recommend enough the expansion experience. I'm so excited. That said, the eclipses also open and pave the way. This eclipse especially is opening and paving the way into what? The 11 month, the month of 11, which is all about mastery, leadership, and elevation and expansion, because 11 as a month is especially the sign of Scorpio, which that is my Vedic sign, Scorpio. That is all about leadership, and that is all about mastery and leveling up. So the 11 month is going to help us to rise up. So on the foot of the other side of the eclipse, right, the door opens into the month of 11. And by the way, on the 11/11, that is our annual, well, at least this year, for sure, again, Master Stargate Portal, which we will have DNA activations on that day. So please do join us. I'll put the link in for that as well. I am still doing live DNA activation webinars, at least for now, as I am guided. So join us while they're live. Don't wait, because I don't know for how much longer I will continue to do them live. But those are amazing, because especially right after an eclipse season, some of the codes we're going to be activating are codes of mastery, codes of expansion, codes of upliftment, codes of leadership. There's all kinds of leadership codes that are being revealed to me. I've never activated these before, because I've just started expanding and up leveling too, and I'm offering this, right? And it's coming through me. I'm working with them. So those will be in the 11/11 Master Stargate Portal DNA Activations webinar. Just know this, and I do hope you'll join us. That's on the website at LoriSpagna.com. Under Work with Lori, you'll see speed activations, right? 11/11 Master Stargate Portal DNA Activations webinar. But just know this, that we are all meant to become the new Earth leaders, right? And you may find yourself to be a leader of a very small group. You may be the leader of a household, a family. You may, like me, be running a business, You may be an entrepreneur, hopefully, if you're listening to me, a soul-centered, heart-centered entrepreneur who truly has something amazing to offer and is offering something amazing and is ready to step that up and level that up. And you may be someone starting out who knows you have something incredible to offer the world. This 11 window, and this master Stargate portal is going to open up for that. A whole new breed of leadership is being birthed right now. And this is what this is all about. It is a beautiful time. It will not come without its challenges, of course, because eclipses do. See, we can't keep playing small in our comfort zones. We can't keep sitting on the sidelines. And we also can't keep expecting the old regime of leaders to change. While there is some truth that the leaders we have known up till now, for the most part, I'm talking leaders, I'm talking about political leaders here right now for this moment, they were born mostly with the sign of Pluto in the house of Leo, most of them. And those leaders, and we're talking people who are, upwards of 60 years old and older in linear time, somewhere in that, maybe even a little older than that. I haven't done the exact dates, but that is a very narcissistic type of leader. And the way those people in general function is I, me, mine as leaders. And they're thinking about themselves first. The next wave of leaders who were born with Pluto in the house of Virgo, which, by the way, I am one of those, these people are much more interested in service to the greater good. Virgo is very caring about the greater good. So that is the next wave of leadership that we're going to start seeing emerging, likely after this eclipse and its effects, right? So that could take a whole year for that to kind of ripple out, but we're going to start seeing new breed of leadership. So regardless of the world leaders on the political stage, we are everyday people, entrepreneurs, etc., heart-centered people who are developing our leadership potential and bringing it out into the world. That is what this eclipse is. And by the way, I think I said this, but your greatest potential lies in your DNA. That includes awakening those dormant potentials of your leadership, the leadership codes, the highest aspiration codes within you, the greatness of who you are meant to be. That stuff is waiting for you to claim it. But you are the one with your free will who has to choose it, who has to show up, who has to participate, who has to become the vibrational resonance to accept it and allow it. And in truth, it typically cannot be done. Usually when we're expanding and up-leveling, it really does require the assistance from someone or some being at a pure frequency that already has that frequency to support and elevate you. That is why we do that in the DNA activation webinars, because we work not only, I've been doing this for so long for myself that I'm at those higher frequency bandwidths, but we're working with the non-physical world of these most incredible beings who do not have physical form. These are non-corporeal, non-physical beings, most of whom, many of whom, not all, certainly, but many of whom have not necessarily embodied. When we're talking about angelics, angel gods, healers, some of of course, the archangels, some but not most of the beings in the higher realm have not embodied. Of course, the ascended masters have, but they have already transformed that, right? So these beings help us to elevate so that we can lift ourselves in that way. And this is part of why these activations are so powerful and so effective. They're not done from the energy that is in the physical. We're working with the non-physical. So I hope all of this makes sense. It's a big transformation ahead. And as always, these kinds of eclipses and these kinds of cycles are designed to support humanity in our evolution and through our ascension journey, and to allow us, to help us as we willingly choose. We must choose it. Listening to podcasts alone is not enough. We're talking about really working with energy and consciousness. So I hope you will join me. These are a number of things. There's the 9-day expansion experience. That's a live masterclass gifted for the community. Very excited about that. And then, of course, there's the 11/11 Stargate, Master Stargate Portal DNA Activations webinar to help and support us through this eclipse cycle and in the months ahead as we progress. Either way, I hope that this has helped you, to help you understand the next trajectory that we're ahead, that's ahead for us, and what we're opening up to and expanding into. And I am wishing you your most benevolent best. I hope this has been helpful to you. Please do join us. I will put the links below for both the Expansion Experience 9-day Masterclass to support and assist you in your up-leveling, in your expansion, in working more and more with the divine to develop and to harness and develop more of your divine intuition, to utilize energy healing, to access and utilize metaphysical tools that most humans know nothing about, and to utilize higher consciousness, and also really develop and cultivate and develop your superhuman gifts, talents, and abilities. And I'm talking about things that are in the non-physical, so that you can use them to develop and grow your business, to help your audience, to make the massive global impact that you're here to make, expand your business, as I said, improve the quality of your life, and perhaps most importantly, to really align with your soul's highest agenda. When you are aligned, it is true. Your gifts, your abilities, the yellow brick road, so to speak, the red carpet, it rolls out in front of you. The waters tend to part. It's like what I said when I was putting together the expansion experience. It came together so effortlessly, so flawlessly. I didn't even know I was doing it as I was doing it. I was just like, I don't know, one step in front of the other, and then it just, oh my God, it's so incredibly magnificent. Even the name, the Expansion Experience, came to me in seconds. It wasn't even anything I had to think about. It came right through me. The whole thing was so channeled. And this is what I mean when you align with your soul's highest agenda. These things happen. And of course, ultimately, when you're doing that, you're becoming the best version of you. It's a process, but it is truly magnificent, truly amazing. So I hope you will join us for that, the Expansion Experience, this 9-day masterclass. And of course, I also hope you will join us for the 11/11 Master Stargate Portal. Both links are on the website at LoriSpagna.com under Work with Lori. And I will include them in the section below for those of you who are in the inner community. You will see it there. Okay, in the meantime, I'm saying farewell for now. I hope this information about the upcoming eclipse season that we're already underway with has been helpful to you. I complete at, look at this. I think I'm at 33 minutes. Okay, lots of love to you. Farewell for now. Bye-bye.